Hello everyone, this is Team Javier, Yalen and Matt, aka Team Jim, making a video on the topic of input validation in C++. In this video, we'll be going over what input validation means, what it's used for, as well as show you a code we developed that implements input validation. So what is input validation? Input or data validation by definition is the process of making sure the program only accepts correct data from the input before continuing with the rest of its function. For example, whenever you log onto Canvas, you need to enter your correct email and password in order to access your profile. Failure to do so will end up sending you this. Addressing what specific inputs must be valid is important when developing a program because not doing so can create errors and break your code. Ways you can implement input validation include using if statements, the fail function, and the use of return 1.
Alright, so to begin with, we need the hashtag include IOStream for any program in C++. Then we have the using namespace std because every program that uses standard services requires this directive. The std stands for standard and not sexually transmitted disease. Then we have the int main parentheses because every program has a main function. We then have int number because we have to define our variable, and here we are defining number as an integer value. The cout select a number 1 to 5 and L ends the line and tells the user to input a number 1 to 5. Then the cin number takes the value that the user inputted, and we can either go forth with the program or ask the user to input a number 1 to 5 if the user inputted something else. That's what the if cin fail function does. 13th line, if parentheses number is greater than 5 or let number less than 1, says if the number inputted is greater than 5 or less than 1, then the program will print out error, pick a number 1 to 5, silly. The parallel lines is a type of Boolean operator that means or. These two if statements are very important because the inputs need to be valid in order for the program to work. You need to have hypothetical situations in case something that's inputted doesn't apply to the program. That's why the program will print error, pick a number 1 to 5, silly. So for example, if you input a number that's greater than 5 or less than 1, like 10, it says error, pick a number 1 to 5, silly. Say you type in a word or something, you type in word. It doesn't work and it says error, pick a number 1 to 5, silly. The next if statement states if the number equals 1, then it will print out good job, exclamation point. The double equal sign is another Boolean operator that means equal. The next if statement states if the number equals 2, then it will print out the same thing, good job, exclamation point. Same scenario for the next if statement, only difference is if the number inputted equals 3. The next if statement repeats the process, but only if the number inputted equals 4. The last if statement says if the number equals 5, then it will print out good job, exclamation point. Finally, we can end the program with return 0.
In this section of the video, I'm going to demonstrate a working program as well as pinpoint specific lines of code within the working program which make it possible. Alright, let's start by running the program. Alright, as you can see, our first line is select a number between 1 through 5. Now the user's job now is to input a number. Now that number would have to be within the parameters of 1 to 5 for you to get a successful output of good job. So let's try out a working number of 5. As you can see, we got an output of Good job. Now, in the case that the user does not input a number that fits the parameters of 1 to 5, it would lead to a cout function of error. Pick a number between 1 to 5. So let's try to input a number that does not fit the parameters of 1 to 5 and see if we get this error message. Let's try out the number of 6. So I'm going to rerun the program. Okay, and as you can see, the program asks for the user to pick a number between 1 to 5. So alright.
That's all, folks.